There's a strategy I want to share with you guys. This is, by the way, DAT Load Board. More specifically, what I have, this is DAT1 Select. A couple of you guys already have this, but this is what I have. If you have a question like what type of a load board you're using, this is DAT1 Select. So I really want to talk about a little bit of an inbound, outbound, but bear with me. This is there's a two states that really pays good. I don't know if you guys did research on this. I'm all about doing like searching from inbound, outbound, or outbound to inbound. Let me show you what I mean by saying inbound, outbound. So if I go to search loads, and so look at the Virginia, like favorite states, what they call. There are actually 4, but then I will share 2 right now, and then I will share the other 2. So the other 2 is obviously Texas and the Atlanta. But then let me say this. This is very important. Now, Pennsylvania to Virginia. This is flatbed. Let me remove this so that it basically shows you the flatbed load, right? So date range, I always do week, right? So if I start on Wednesday, I stop, let's say the end date will be the Wednesday. Okay, if I start on Monday, and then the end date will be the Monday. The reason why I want to see all the possibilities and see what are my options. Okay, then if I click search, this is state to state search. So if you guys taking notes, please make sure that like I'll be sharing something very, very important, and you will see how these numbers changing right in front of you, although we are using same states. See, Virginia to Pennsylvania. Okay, this is outbound, and inbound will be to Pennsylvania. So outbound, loads going out of Virginia and then goes into the Pennsylvania. That means in this case, Pennsylvania is inbound, so it's receiving state. Let's say that way. And sending state or outbound will be the Virginia. See the numbers? Like people are complaining, right? So complaining about loads. Okay, we do see that 48,000. Most of the carriers, they don't want to move loads above 45,000. Some can go up to like 46, 47, but 48 it's like a red zone for most of the carriers. Okay, now look at these loads, but I also want you to like pay attention to the distance. Short distance always pay more. Excuse me. $6. And you see, don't be confused, but then I'm just making points here. But you see 25 minutes ago, well, like posted 25 minutes ago, 2 hours ago, this should say something. Meaning, if it's a good load, $6 per mile almost, why nobody picks up, right? Like, what's the problem? Well, first of all, this load is for tomorrow. That's one reason. And second, if you click and you will see no tarp, okay, no headboard, stops in. Oh, now we see that there's like how many stops? 1, 2, let me see, 3, 4 stops. Well, again, it's about 600 miles total, right? It's so close. But then the problem will be with these extra stops is that, well, see this trailers, commodity trailers, this means maybe you will be hauling like 5 or 6 trailers, and then you will drop one. This is one of the reasons why they say, like, they said no headboards. Okay, stops in. This is first one. You dropped in first trailer. Let's say you dropped in second, right? And then you dropped in here, Pennsylvania. Like total of 4 stops. So then you're dropping all the trailers. I'm assuming there are 4 trailers, right? Drop first, second, third, and then fourth. This is one of the reasons why they pay more. It's almost $6 per mile. But then they posted for like about 400 miles, but then it here says it's 600, 200 more. The reason, because we have more stops. Okay, flatbed load, 25,000 pounds. Look at the credit score, well, 97, which is pretty awesome. I don't know if you consider this load good, but for the only downside is the 4 stops. Well, actually 3 stops. The last one is actually the destination, right? So meaning the final destination. So anything in between that, that counts. Now, this one is $5.20, right? $4. Now, look at this. If I switch from Pennsylvania to Virginia, and then I'll do search, now see, like now numbers change. Not drastically, but they change. Like this is one of the reasons why they call it like favorite states for most of the flatbeds, for most of the not reefer. We'll take a look. Not reefer. Let me show you. Let me show you reefer. Let me go to. Oops. Let me go to. Let me do this. What's happening? DAT. There you go. And let me search. Let me show you. This. Okay. This is for the reefer. As soon as you change from Pennsylvania to Virginia, right? Pennsylvania to Virginia. Now let's do Virginia to Pennsylvania. Let me search. See this? Now we have like almost $7. This was $6. Do you see like crazy numbers? Okay. Now watch van loads. Let me delete this. Van load. Let's search. See, still, right? Van loads, most of the time what you see is below $2. I'll show you, like, examples are coming. Okay, so let me switch from Pennsylvania now to Virginia, right? Inbound, outbound, outbound, inbound. Okay, just playing with the numbers. Now, see these numbers? Right? So still above, what is it? Above average, I would say. Now look at this. If I do Pennsylvania to North Carolina, let's do this. North Carolina. Oops. North Carolina. Pennsylvania to North Carolina. This is van. Let's search. Okay. $2. Mostly, let me see. $2. Okay. Little over, but now we see $1.80. Okay. $1.80, $1.40. Now let's change from North Carolina to Pennsylvania. Inbound, outbound, outbound, inbound. Playing with the numbers. Okay, still, okay, $2, almost $3. Wow, that's awesome. Now let's do Pennsylvania to Georgia. See how numbers are changing. Let's see that. Boom. Now we have about $1.80, $2.16, $1.85, $1.69, $1, right? It's like below $2. Like neighboring state. See the huge difference? Like remember these numbers? Okay, just remember. Let's say average will be about $1.50. Let's say that, okay? $1.50. Okay, let's do like neighboring state, North Carolina. Right? Let's do this. See? Above $2. Mostly. Okay? Now, let's do North Carolina to Pennsylvania. Okay? See that? Close to $3. Now, let's do Georgia to Texas. Let me show you something. Georgia to Texas. Okay? Now, look at van loads. $1.50, $1.90, okay? $1.80. And again, we can easily say averaging $1.50 from Georgia to Texas. Now, let's do Texas to Georgia. Inbound, outbound, outbound, inbound. That's the search method, right? See, this number will change. These numbers will change. Let's go. Well, obviously will change, but then what I'm looking for, they should change drastically, okay? So, see that? Now we have above $2 and let me see, $2.10. Okay, $2. Now can we say averaging about $70 or $80, somewhere like that, right? See this? Now, let's do flatbed. See how that changed? Let's go. Let's do flatbed. Let's search. Now, Texas to Georgia. Okay? See the numbers? Now, this is for Texas. Let's go from Georgia to Texas and see the numbers. Okay? Like $1, $70, $70, $60, $66. Okay? There you go. 227, 2. Okay, cool. Let's go do one more time, Texas to Georgia. Okay. Now, mostly above $2. See, where am I going with this? Right? Because there are a lot of loads for flatbed going out of the Texas. That means in this case, outbound for flatbed is Texas. See how we determine? Okay, now let's go to reefer loads. Let's go and do that. Texas to Georgia. Let's see that. Okay, 250. Okay, now let's do Georgia to Texas load. And it's still morning, and then now it drops, right? It drops, we can say about $60, right? So let's go now, favorite states. Let's do Pennsylvania to Virginia. Let's do Pennsylvania to Virginia. Okay, let's do reefer. Let's see what happens. $3. Okay, cool. Looking at, so yeah, $3. Okay. $3, $3, $3, $4. Okay, now let's do Virginia to Pennsylvania. Okay, we saw $4. Now it changes like 6, almost 7, almost 6, almost 5, right? Almost 4. See, like these are the reefer loads. Now, Virginia to Pennsylvania. Okay, and always look at the trip. Right? Because the shorter the distance, the better they pay. Okay? So now let's do like long haul and let's see what happens. Let's do Georgia from east to west. Let's do Georgia. Let's do California. Okay. Now let's reefer. Okay. Let's do reefer. Let's start with the reefer. Not only we have about like 14 results, all of them like there are no similar loads because we do origin as a Georgia and like state to state. Okay, see this? Georgia to California, reefer, no, right? Let's do flatbed and see what happens. Okay, absolutely no. Now let's do van loads and let's see what happens. Oh, about 25. The highest they pay is $1.50, right? Somewhere $1.50. Horrible. Long haul, horrible. So I'm going somewhere with this. Just bear with me. Okay, now let's do California to Georgia and let's see what happens. Ooh, okay, now it's a little bit, it changed. It's more than $2, right? Although it's a van, if California's, outbound is good, let me see, what about flatbed? They pay good, above $2, still better than $1.70, $1.80, right? Although we do have loads here. But then most of the loads, like best paying loads, are already booked. Most of the loads are in the private network, right? So there's still good loads being posted. But then there's carriers or dispatchers, booking those loads quickly, so you don't see them here. Okay. Now California. Okay. Now let's do reefer from California to Georgia, and let's see. It should pay good. Okay. Yeah. Almost. We can say averaging about $2.50. Okay. Mostly 2 kilo loads. Okay. Fresh freight. Okay. Cool. There you go. So instead of coming here from California to Georgia, let me come back to California to Texas. then we'll deliver here, then pick up another load and go. Will that help? Oh, see this? $3, almost $3, almost $3, almost $3. Now it's better option from California to Texas than from Texas to Georgia, right? See, lows are being posted. Cool. Hope that helps. So what I'm trying to say here is, like, the game right now, short haul, right? If it's like 2,000, 3,000 distance, meaning from point A to point B, there's no money right now. Short haul, this is where the game is. Now, if you really want to win the game in slow seasons like these or like this, it will be the partial game, right? See these, the capacitor full. So what you're looking for are partial loads. Let me show you what I mean by saying partial loads. So let's see if they're partial loads. For example, this one is 5,000, 16 feet long, and then 5,000. This is a partial, and it pays about what is it? $1.75, which is good. About $1 for a what is it? For a partial load is good. So you can negotiate. Obviously, you can get for 1,800 or something like that, right? So let's do Texas to California and see if we have any partial loads. Oh, okay, there you go. Okay, for only 12, and then this is 2,000 pounds, 26, 6,000 pounds. See, now if we do, let's go to favoring states, right? Let's go to Pennsylvania and Virginia. Okay, let's do VA. Short hauls, usually they don't have that much, partial loads, as you can see. Yeah, as I said. Why? Because this distance is short. So let me see if we can pull any van loads. Let me pull any flatbed loads. No partials. Okay, let me do inbound, outbound, inbound. Nope. Yeah, so then we're like expanding. Let's say, what about Pennsylvania to North Carolina? Okay, let's do this. North Carolina. Okay, let me see. Oh, okay. See? Now we're pulling. Man, what we said, the partial loads, if they pay like about $1.20, like this is almost $2, which is good. 700 pays for, it says 53, but I don't think it will take, this much. Why? Because now this is 700 and it pays 8 feet long, and this is like 2,000 pounds. Well, let's say 2,200, right? So if you really want to win the game, and again, the partial is the game you want to play. And then short haul. If the carrier says, I want to, let's say, over the road, I don't know, from East Coast to West Coast, from Texas to anywhere. No. Like, we need to be more specific. Like, favorite states or favoring states, what the truckers call, like Pennsylvania to Virginia, Virginia to Pennsylvania, like short distance, 500 miles, right? 400 miles, 500 miles in between. If you can pull, partial loads, that will be awesome. Okay? Hope that helps. And I'll be doing like more research, and I'll be sharing with you guys. Thanks.